Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel and welcome to the final chapter of the English Championship season. So we're looking ahead to the most expensive club game in world football, the final of the Championship playoffs for a place in the Premier League, which is valued at anything between 200 and 250 million pounds. So, what has been going on in the past week? Well, we thought we were going to have a preview of Southampton versus Hull. Hull, who did magnificent to beat Millwall over two legs. That was a surprise. Although I think I did suggest that Hull might be the dark horses in that match, but in that tie. They certainly came through with flying colours, an excellent 2-0 away win in the second leg. So Hull justifying their place in the final on Saturday. Middlesbrough have had a slightly different route, getting beat by Southampton over two legs, but Southampton have fallen foul of SPYGATE, as it's been dubbed. And SPYGATE, as I'm sure you all know, those of you who are watching this clip, is where Southampton have been found guilty of spying, not just on Middlesbrough, but on a couple of other teams and probably others besides. I can't believe it's just the three teams that they've been done for as such. So they were caught, sent an intern across to the Middlesbrough training ground to video it, or whatever. There's all sorts of rumours going around about what he was actually doing. Was he feeding it live back to a Zoom call or something? All sorts of claims and counterclaims. But the bottom line is Southampton have disgraced themselves really and are out of the final, expelled from the competition, the playoff competition, a 4-point deduction. So they start on -4 next season in the Championship. So it's all gone wrong after such what appeared to be, well, it was, let's not take it away, the football they played in the last 21 matches in the Championship was a real value for money watch, I have to say. But this undercurrent has completely derailed it. It looks like the manager's going to get the sack after seemingly doing so well. Well, he has done well. I mean, it doesn't deter too much. But what's my take on this? Well, I think the punishment is a little bit harsh for the crime, but in football and any life in general really, if you put yourself in a position where somebody has to make a decision, that decision could well be the worst possible one, and that's what it was for Southampton, being expelled from the competition. It's a bit like a footballer on the pitch, isn't it? When he raises a hand to a player, nothing much, bit of a handbags, and suddenly the referee branches a red card, probably over the top for the offence, but you put yourself in that position for the referee to make that decision. And similarly here, Southampton put themselves in a position where this independent commission, probably influenced a little bit by the EFL, even though they were independent as such, but they put themselves into a position where this outcome was possible, so they can't complain. And it's a absolute shambles really for the club. I feel absolutely sorry for the fans. Particularly, they've spent out hundreds, if not thousands of pounds up and down the country. It's a long way from the south coast to some of these distances they have to travel. So they have felt it in the pocket. They've all, 37,500 of them have paid out for a ticket for the game that now won't be for them, but they will get that money back obviously. But it's all very, and I was hearing some stories where, people that have booked hotels and non-refundable rooms, all that sort of stuff, all that peripheral stuff gets forgotten. So it's the supporters, for me, that I really do feel for. I feel the pain for. It's a horrible, horrible situation for them. Players, yes, it's not nice for them either, because I'm sure some of the players probably weren't even aware it was going on, if I'm honest, I would suggest. So, well, the players aren't going to lose out financially as such, but they probably are going to get the chance of glory, the chance to promote themselves in the Premier League, and some of them now may not even want to play for their club again. There's all sorts of issues there. So we had to just discuss the Southampton situation, I think, at the start of this clip. But it is really, as I say, a preview clip for the final, which is still going to take place on Saturday the 23rd of May at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon at what will be a very, very hot Wembley, I'm led to believe. We're just about to go, the southeast of England in particular, is about to go into some sort of mini heat wave. So could be 29 or 30 degrees. Goodness me, we all know what Wembley's like, even as a fan to stand there and sit there, in that heat. So it's going to be a challenge for the players. So who are the team? Well, who are the players? We know the teams are now Hull City, as I say, had that magnificent win, and the reprieve for Middlesbrough is the fixture. So a trek down from the north for the fans to fill Wembley. I'm sure they still will. Middlesbrough will be probably still scurrying around for scurrying around for tickets as I speak. So there we are. What is going to happen? Let's just hope, after all this controversy and skullduggery that appears to have gone on with Southampton in particular, well, Southampton only, that we can have a real game. I know it's going to be hot and it's going to be real heat-sapping for the players. But let's really hope we can have a signature finish to the season at Wembley. A thrilling game. We haven't had too many thrills at Wembley this season, in my opinion. Two sort of dreary cup finals in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Great for the winners, but not much for the neutrals. The non-league teams turned up and in the FA Vase and the FA Trophy played out 0-0 draw. So there hasn't been much to savour at the back end of the season on the Wembley front. Let's hope Hull and Middlesbrough do the Championship proud, do themselves proud, do their fans proud and the clubs proud, and get out there and really give us a game to remember. We can but hope for that. So who do I think? Well, this is a real conundrum. It's a difficult one. Well, it's always difficult to call any match almost in the Championship, but it's a difficult one to call for me here. We've got Hull, who, although they've known they were in the final for some time now, compared to Middlesbrough, they were planning to play for the sort of strategy of Southampton. And now they've got to play Middlesbrough, who certainly play in a different way to Southampton. They're playing a bit more compact and they're not quite as going forward. They're not quite as open, not quite as attacking maybe. So we're going to have an interesting match between, again, Hull have they've sneaked in, didn't they, to the playoffs at the end of the season after a dull period of results for them. Perked up on the final day, had two brilliant performances against Millwall. So what happened? And they're now been ship-shape in Bristol fashion, if you like, ready to play. Middlesbrough, although they say, and I'm sure they were, still training after their defeat against Southampton, because this situation was on the back burner. Do you really put the same into it when you know you're not guaranteed playing the game? I struggle with the mindset of that. It must be hard to keep going, but I'm sure they just kept generally fit. Obviously, it's only a couple of weeks overall, but they weren't. And now the mindset's completely different. They've definitely got a game. They've definitely got to play Hull. They've got to work out a strategy in 2 or 3 days. That may work in their favour. All hustle bustle, get it out, get it done, get sorted, and get out on the Wembley pitch and do it, whereas Hull have had a bit more time to think. So where do I go with the result? It really is tricky. I am torn between the two. I think I'm going to just go for Middlesbrough to take what will be an extraordinarily close match. I predict it will go to extra time. Let's hope not for the dreaded penalties. Because if that penalty, there's always one, although penalties get missed, it's always that final penalty that gets remembered, the one that gets missed, that gets remembered most. And it's a horrible feeling, I'm sure, to have to live the summer. You can't kick a ball in anger until August the 5th or whatever it is we start again. So let's hope it's done in extra time. That's my prediction. Extra time. Middlesbrough to take it because they've just had the better quality throughout the season. I think they were in the top 2. I think somebody calculated for around 200 days consecutively at one point, until they were just overtaken at the back end of the season when they had that poor run. So that poor run will still be in their minds. I'm going to still just back them over Hull. Hull is the romantic story, isn't it? What a story that would be if they were to get promoted to the Premier League again. Unbelievable, really. This is their 3rd visit. They've won both their other visits. They won both their other visits by 1-0 as well. I think it was 2008 because it was against Bristol City, and I think it was 2016. The second time against Sheffield Wednesday. So they've got previous of winning 1-0s in finals, so they're used to that. Not this group of players, obviously, but the club generally. Middlesbrough will be really desperate to get back there as well. They look to have it not sewn up, but very in their own hands and let it slip through. Is this another motivation factor for them? We can get this done now. We've been given a chance to get the job done that they probably should have got done in the regular season, never mind anything else. So there we are. We come to an end of the Championship season. It is the match, the showpiece game. Let's hope the football matches the showpiece event. It'll be a full house at Wembley, of course. And just spare a thought for the Southampton fans who were looking forward to their big day. People going for the first time, young fans of 6, 7, 8 years old have had their day ripped up. What a shame, by just some foolishness, poor decision making by certain people within Southampton. I'm sure we'll hear more about that. I don't know when on that note. Let's end these previews. Thank you all for listening and watching and commenting, some of you have, throughout the season. Let's end this on a positive for the playoff final. I'm going to take it Middlesbrough to win a really thrilling match, let's hope, in extra time. I'm going to say 3-2. Let's try and encourage some goals to be there at the weekend. So there we have it. Thank you so much for your contributions in the comments, those who've done so. Thank you so much for watching my clips and anyone else's clips and all the other stuff on the channel. We are just, I think, 5 subscribers away. What a great end to the season it would be for the channel if we could hit the magic 1,000. If 5 of you guys, wouldn't it be nice for the Championship channel or the Championship clip to take the 5? If 5 of you could just like and subscribe following you watching this today, or watching part of it, whatever you decide to do, that would be wonderful for the channel. I'm not going to waffle on anymore. I hope you've enjoyed my take on it, the season. We look forward to another Championship season, which will be, if it's half as dramatic as the last week, goodness me, we're in for a treat. Have a great summer. Enjoy the World Cup, of course. We've got all that on the horizon. But let's just get it's the last week of the Premier League weekend of the Premier League on Sunday. So what a weekend's feast we have. And as I say, it's going to be very hot in the UK, especially in the southern half of England. So please, if you are in those areas, please take care. It's going to hit us all of a sudden, this heat. We haven't been used to it for a few weeks. So there we go. I won't be talking to weather forecaster here. Enjoy your summer, take care, stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you for watching. Take care.